The internet, a sprawling digital abyss. We think we use it for connection, for information, but sometimes it uses us. It becomes a conduit, a gateway to something far more sinister. Tonight we venture into the darkest corners of the web, a place where fear reigns supreme and the lines between reality and nightmare blur. We're diving deep into the haunting depths of 4chan, a breeding ground for the unexplainable. Get ready to confront 6 bone-chilling threads, each more unsettling than the last. Stories woven from fear, paranoia, and the unknown. You might want to keep the lights on for this one, because once you've seen what lurks in these shadows, you'll never look at your screen the same way again. Our journey begins in the infamous /X/board, a place where the paranormal is discussed with chilling regularity. It was here, amidst tales of cryptids and cursed artifacts, that a thread titled "The Haunting of Thread Title" surfaced, sending shivers down the spines of even the most hardened skeptics. It all started with a series of grainy photographs, an abandoned hospital, its decaying walls whispering tales of suffering and neglect. But something else lingered in those photos, something that couldn't be explained away by time and decay. A figure, shrouded in darkness, seemed to stare back from the shadows. Its eyes, 2 glowing embers, burned with an unsettling intensity. The original poster, a self-proclaimed urban explorer, claimed to have captured the images during a late-night visit to the abandoned site. He brushed off the figure as a trick of the light, but the chilling clarity of its form left many unconvinced. Was it a figment of his imagination or something far more sinister? As the thread gained traction, other users chimed in, sharing their own experiences with abandoned hospitals and the entities that haunted their halls. The original poster, emboldened by the attention, promised to return to the site, armed with nothing but a camera and a growing sense of dread. Days turned into sleepless nights as the /X/board awaited his return. Then, without warning, a new post appeared. This time, it wasn't just photographs. A video, shaky and poorly lit, documented his harrowing encounter with whatever lurked within the hospital's walls. The video showed him navigating the darkened corridors, his breath catching in his throat as he called out into the oppressive silence. A cold spot, a sudden drop in temperature sent chills down the spines of those watching. And then, a blood-curdling scream pierced the silence. The camera whipped around, capturing a fleeting glimpse of something moving in the shadows, something fast, something malevolent. The video cut out abruptly, leaving viewers with a sense of unease that lingered long after the screen went dark. The original poster, the one who dared to venture into the belly of the beast, had vanished. Days turned into weeks, and the /X/board buzzed with speculation. Had he gone into hiding, traumatized by his encounter, or had he become another victim, claimed by the very entity he sought to document? The mystery remains unsolved, a chilling reminder that some doors are best left unopened. The thread, now a digital graveyard, stands as a testament to the horrors that lurk in the shadows of the internet. And the abandoned hospital? It stands silent, its decaying walls guarding the secrets of what truly transpired within its cursed corridors. Our next descent into the abyss takes us to a thread shrouded in mystery and desperation. Unlike the previous tale, this one began not with chilling images but with a single blood-chilling post. "I think my dreams are trying to warn me." The words, stark and desperate, appeared on a Wednesday afternoon, buried beneath a mountain of memes and mindless chatter. But something about the raw terror embedded within those words caught the attention of the /X/board's denizens. The original poster, a young woman going by the handle "Lost in Slumber," described a recurring nightmare. A shadowy figure, tall and skeletal with eyes that burned like hot coals, stalked her through a desolate landscape. Each night the figure drew closer, its skeletal fingers reaching out from the darkness. Each night she woke up in a cold sweat, the feeling of dread clinging to her like a shroud. The thread quickly became a digital confessional, with Lost in Slumber pouring her heart out to a community of strangers. She spoke of a growing sense of unease, a feeling that the nightmare was bleeding into her waking life. Shadows seemed to move in the corner of her eye. Whispers followed her through empty hallways. The line between dream and reality was blurring, and she feared she was losing her grip on sanity. Users offered words of comfort, suggesting everything from sleep paralysis to lucid dreaming, but deep down a collective sense of unease settled over the thread. Lost in Slumber's descriptions were vivid, her terror palpable. And then, the post took a sinister turn. She began describing physical sensations, a coldness in the air, the feeling of unseen eyes watching her every move. The nightmare, it seemed, was no longer content to remain confined to the realm of sleep. Imagine scrolling through the darkest corners of the internet, the digital equivalent of a dank, cobweb-filled basement. A place where the light of day never reaches, and the shadows seem to have a life of their own. That's where our next story takes us, deep within the anonymous abyss of 4chan, a place where secrets are whispered and the line between reality and fiction blurs. A user, hidden behind a wall of pixels and anonymity, shared a chilling tale, one that began with a simple yet unsettling image, an image that would soon spiral into something far more sinister. The image, grainy and distorted, appeared to be a screenshot of a message board, not unlike 4chan itself. But there was something off about it, something that made the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. The text on this board was different, filled with cryptic phrases and a deeply unsettling undertone. It was as if the words themselves were alive, writhing on the screen. It spoke of an invitation, an exclusive gathering for a select few, a gathering that promised secrets and revelations. But at what cost? The user who posted this image claimed it had appeared on his computer seemingly out of thin air. One moment he was browsing aimlessly and the next, the invitation was staring back at him. The invitation, if you could call it that, was chillingly vague. It was as if it was designed to lure you in, to make you curious enough to follow its breadcrumbs. It spoke of a location, a time, but the details were shrouded in riddles and unsettling metaphors. It was like a puzzle, one that promised answers but only if you dared to solve it. It felt like something ripped from a fever dream, a digital whisper from an entity lurking just beyond the veil of our reality. An entity that seemed to know more about you than you were comfortable with. And the worst part? The original poster, the one who shared this unsettling find, claimed the invitation was personalized. It was as if the message was crafted specifically for him. He said the message board, the one in the image, knew his name. It was like the digital world had reached out and touched his very soul. It knew where he lived. The address was there, clear as day, staring back at him from the screen. It knew things about him, personal things, that he'd never shared online. It was as if the invitation had been watching him, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal itself. This wasn't just some creepypasta, some internet ghost story meant to elicit a few chills. This felt real, tangible, and the fear it invoked was unlike anything he'd ever experienced. The raw terror emanating from the original poster's words was palpable. It was as if you could feel his fear through the screen, a fear that was contagious. The original poster story quickly gained traction on 4chan. People were drawn to it, unable to look away from the unfolding horror. People flocked to the thread, drawn in by the unsettling nature of the invitation and the palpable fear in the original poster's words. It was like watching a car crash in slow motion. Some dismissed it as an elaborate hoax, a desperate cry for attention in the vast digital sea of anonymity, but others couldn't shake the feeling that something was deeply, terribly wrong. Others, however, couldn't shake the feeling that something was deeply, terribly wrong. The invitation felt too real, too personal to be a mere prank. They analyzed the image, dissecting the cryptic messages, trying to decipher the riddles and uncover the truth behind the invitation. It became an obsession for some. As more users joined the thread, the story took on a life of its own. It was no longer just a story, it was a phenomenon. Theories emerged, each more unsettling than the last. Some speculated that the invitation was a gateway, a digital portal to something sinister lurking in the darkest recesses of the internet. Some speculated that the invitation was a gateway, a digital portal to something sinister lurking in the darkest recesses of the internet, a place where the rules of reality no longer applied. Others whispered about cults, about hidden societies operating in the shadows of the web, using the anonymity of platforms like 4chan to recruit unsuspecting souls. It was a chilling thought. The original poster, meanwhile, continued to post updates, each one more frantic, more terrified than the last. His fear was escalating, and it was clear he was in over his head. He claimed the messages were getting more personal, more threatening. It was as if the entity behind the invitation was closing in on him. The entity behind the invitation, whatever it was, knew he was trying to expose it, and it wasn't happy. It was as if it was toying with him, enjoying his fear. The thread had become a digital horror story unfolding in real time, and the millions of users glued to their screens were both terrified and strangely captivated. It was like a train wreck they couldn't look away from. They were witnessing something truly unique, something that blurred the lines between reality and the digital world, and the implications were deeply unsettling. It was a reminder of the power and danger of the internet. The original poster's updates became more erratic, his writing increasingly frantic. It was clear he was losing his grip on reality. He claimed to see flickering figures in the reflection of his screen, hear whispers in the dead of night, his voice distorted and shaky as he recounted these experiences through hastily typed messages. It was as if the digital world was bleeding into his reality. The fear was real, bleeding through the digital barrier, infecting everyone who dared to read his words. Then, silence. The updates stopped. It was as if he had been swallowed by the very darkness he had uncovered. The original poster, the one who had unwittingly stumbled upon the invitation and shared it with the world, vanished without a trace. It was as if he had never existed. Days turned into weeks, then months, but there was no sign of him, no explanation for his sudden disappearance. It was as if he had been erased from existence. The thread on 4chan remained, a chilling monument to the unknown horrors that lurk in the darkest corners of the internet. It was a reminder that some things are better left undiscovered. Some speculated that he had gone into hiding, terrified by what he had uncovered. Others feared the worst, convinced that the entity behind the invitation had found him, dragged him into the digital abyss from whence it came. Others feared the worst, convinced that the entity behind the invitation had found him, dragged him into the digital abyss from whence it came. It was a chilling thought, one that kept many up at night. The truth, like the original poster, remains lost in the digital ether, a chilling reminder that some mysteries are best left unsolved, some invitations best left unanswered. It was a story that would haunt the digital world for years to come. The thread on 4chan serves as a chilling reminder that for all the wonders and advancements of the internet, there are dark corners, digital underbellies where things crawl just beyond our understanding, places where the light of day never reaches, things that watch, that wait, and sometimes extend an invitation that perhaps is best left unseen. Deep within the labyrinthine corridors of 4chan, a place where anonymity breeds both creativity and chaos, there exists a legend whispered in hushed tones and shrouded in digital dread. This legend, known as the Red Room, has captivated the imaginations of many, drawing them into a world where the lines between reality and nightmare blur. It's a story about a hidden website, a digital hellscape known only as the Red Room. This site is said to be a place of unimaginable horrors, a virtual chamber where the darkest aspects of human nature are given free rein. And according to 4chan lore, accessing this site requires a terrifying ritual, one that might cost you your soul. The very thought of it sends shivers down the spines of those who dare to delve into its mysteries. The story goes that the Red Room is not indexed by conventional search engines. It exists in the shadows, hidden from the prying eyes of the curious and the cautious alike. It can't be accessed through traditional means. No simple search will lead you to its dark corners. Instead, one must perform a series of specific actions, a digital summoning ritual, to gain entry. This ritual is said to be as complex as it is dangerous, requiring both technical skill and a willingness to embrace the unknown. The instructions, often shared through cryptic images and coded messages, are said to be guarded by a shadowy collective known only as the Gatekeepers. These enigmatic figures are the keepers of the keys to the Red Room. These gatekeepers, according to 4chan legend, are tasked with protecting the Red Room, ensuring that only those deemed worthy can enter. They are the gatekeepers of a digital underworld, shrouded in secrecy and fear. Some believe they are hackers, masters of the digital realm, while others whisper of something more sinister, something ancient and malevolent, lurking behind the veil of the internet. The true nature of the gatekeepers remains a mystery, adding to the allure and terror of the Red Room. The ritual itself varies depending on the source, but certain elements remain consistent. The use of specific software, the chanting of ancient phrases, the offering of a digital sacrifice. These elements combine to create a sense of dread and anticipation. It's a dangerous game, one that blurs the lines between the digital and the supernatural, and those who dare to play it risk unleashing something truly horrific. The consequences of such actions are said to be dire, affecting both mind and body. The Red Room, according to the whispers on 4chan, is not for the faint of heart. It is a place where the brave and the foolish alike may find themselves ensnared by the darkness within. It's described as a digital nightmare, a place where the boundaries of reality break down and the darkest desires of humanity are given form. The very fabric of the internet seems to warp and twist within its confines. Some claim it's a hub for illegal activities, a digital black market where anything and everything can be bought and sold. From illicit substances to forbidden knowledge, the Red Room is said to offer it all. Others whisper of far more disturbing content, of live torture streams, of snuff films, of things so horrific they defy description. The mere thought of such content is enough to make one's blood run cold. The mere act of witnessing such horrors, they say, can shatter the human psyche, leaving viewers forever scarred, their minds tainted by the darkness they have seen. The psychological toll is said to be immense, with some never recovering from the experience. But the true horror of the Red Room, according to 4chan legend, lies not in what you might see, but in what it does to you. The impact on one's soul and sanity is said to be profound and irreversible. They say that the site is cursed, that simply accessing it can have dire consequences. The curse is said to extend beyond the digital realm, affecting one's life in unexpected and terrifying ways. Users have reported experiencing vivid nightmares, hallucinations, and even physical ailments after visiting the Red Room. The effects are said to linger, haunting those who dared to enter. Some have claimed to be haunted by unseen entities, their lives plagued by misfortune and tragedy. The curse of the Red Room is said to be relentless, sparing no one who ventures into its depths. Whether these are the ravings of disturbed minds or genuine accounts of supernatural retribution remains a chilling mystery. The truth is elusive, hidden behind layers of fear and speculation. One thing is certain, the Red Room is not a place to be trifled with. It is a realm of darkness and despair, where the unwary may find themselves lost forever. It is a digital abyss, a black hole of despair and depravity, and those who dare to peer into its depths may find themselves dragged down into its unforgiving embrace. The pull of the Red Room is said to be irresistible, drawing in those who seek to uncover its secrets. The legend of the Red Room has persisted on 4chan for years, passed down from thread to thread, a digital campfire story meant to both terrify and intrigue. It is a tale that has grown with each retelling, becoming more elaborate and more terrifying. But is there any truth to it? Is the Red Room a genuine digital horror, or merely a figment of collective imagination? Is the Red Room real, or is it just another creepypasta, a product of overactive imaginations and internet folklore? The line between fact and fiction is often blurred in the digital age. Skeptics dismiss the Red Room as nothing more than a hoax, a digital myth perpetuated by those seeking to spread fear and chaos online. They argue that the stories are simply too outlandish to be true. The ritual, they argue, is nothing but a series of meaningless steps designed to lead the gullible down a rabbit hole of their own making. It is a trap for the unwary, a digital maze with no exit. And yet the stories persist. The legend of the Red Room refuses to die, continuing to captivate and terrify those who hear it. Whispers of the Red Room continue to surface on 4chan, fueled by cryptic posts and alleged screenshots, each one adding to the legend's mystique. The allure of the unknown keeps the story alive. Some believe that the Red Room is real, but not in the traditional sense. They argue that it exists in a form that defies conventional understanding. They speculate that it exists on the dark web, a hidden part of the internet accessible only through specialized software and connections. This hidden realm is said to be the true home of the Red Room. Others maintain that the Red Room is not a place at all, but rather a state of mind, a manifestation of the darkest aspects of human consciousness. It is a psychological construct, a reflection of our deepest fears and desires. Whether it's real, fictional, or something in between, the legend of the Red Room serves as a chilling reminder that the internet is a vast and often unforgiving place where curiosity can lead to dangerous and potentially deadly consequences. The Red Room stands as a testament to the power of digital folklore and the enduring allure of the unknown. The records from this abandoned asylum are chilling, but there's one patient file that stands out. They call him Patient X, and his intake forms are just the beginning of a descent into madness. The staff documented strange behaviors, unsettling incidents, but it's what they didn't write that really gets under your skin. The missing details, the redacted sections, the blank spaces where observations should be, it's like they were too afraid to write it down, like some things are better left unsaid. Imagine the fear in their handwriting as they documented his descent, the way their pen might have trembled as they wrote about the things they saw. Were they grasping for explanations, for some logical reason behind the horrors unfolding before their eyes? Or were they simply trying to make sense of the inexplicable? Or did they succumb to the same darkness that consumed Patient X, a darkness that seemed to seep into the very walls of the asylum? This isn't just about one man's descent into madness, it's about the darkness that festers in these forgotten places, the unanswered questions that linger long after the lights have gone out. It's about the unsettling feeling that some things are better left buried, some stories better left untold. But some stories, some horrors, refuse to be silenced. The staff tried to document Patient X's behavior, but some things defy description. They wrote about objects moving on their own, shadows shifting in the corners of his room, whispers that seemed to emanate from the walls themselves. But between the lines you can sense their terror, their inability to fully grasp the horrors they were witnessing, the fear that perhaps they were losing their own sanity. Imagine the chilling silence of the asylum at night, broken only by the distant screams of patients and the unsettling sounds emanating from Patient X's room. Imagine the feeling of being watched, followed by unseen eyes, the hair on your neck standing on end as you walk past his door. The staff tried to rationalize it, to find medical explanations for the paranormal activity. They pored over medical books, searching for answers, but deep down, they knew the truth. Something sinister had taken root within those walls, something that fed on their fear and drove them to the brink of madness. And then one day, Patient X vanished. The details are shrouded in mystery, the files incomplete, the staff tight-lipped about the events of that night. Some say he escaped, disappearing into the night without a trace. Others whisper of darker possibilities, of rituals gone wrong, of a darkness that consumed him entirely. Imagine the chaos that must have ensued, the frantic search, the growing fear that something truly evil had been unleashed. The staff, desperate and terrified, searching every corner. Did they ever find him, or did he simply cease to exist within the confines of that asylum, his presence lingering like a stain on the very fabric of the building? The truth remains buried within the crumbling walls of that abandoned asylum, a testament to the horrors that unfold when madness and the supernatural collide. But one thing is certain, Patient X's story doesn't end here. It lives on in the whispers of those who dare to enter that forsaken place. A chilling reminder that some doors are best left unopened. Imagine this, a late-night storm, rain lashing against your windows, the wind howling like a banshee. You're home alone, seeking comfort in the flickering glow of your computer screen, when suddenly, you hear it, a knock at the door. It's late, too late for visitors, and a shiver runs down your spine. But curiosity, and perhaps a touch of morbid fascination, compels you to see who could possibly be outside on a night like this. You approach cautiously, peering through the peephole. Standing on your porch are two children, a boy and a girl, their faces pale and gaunt in the dim light. They wear matching blue raincoats, their hoods pulled low, obscuring their features. But what chills you to the bone is the sight of their eyes, glowing an unnatural shade of blue in the darkness. You hesitate, a sense of unease washing over you. Why are these children out so late? Where are their parents? Before you can rationalize your fear, the boy speaks, his voice a soft, chilling whisper that seems to seep into your bones. "Can we come in?" he asks, his words slow and deliberate. "We're lost and our parents told us to seek shelter." The girl stands silently beside him, her gaze fixed on you with an intensity that makes your skin crawl. You want to tell them to go away, to find help elsewhere, but something about their plea, about the desperation in their eyes, makes it impossible to refuse. Against your better judgment, you slowly open the door, the children's unsettling blue eyes never leaving yours. They step inside, their presence sending a wave of icy air through your home. You offer them blankets and warm drinks, but they refuse, their gazes fixed on you with an unnerving intensity. You try to engage them in conversation, to learn more about them, but their answers are vague and unsettling. Then, as quickly as they appeared, they vanish. 1 minute they're sitting on your couch, the next they're gone, leaving behind only the faint scent of ozone and an overwhelming sense of dread. You search your home, your heart pounding in your chest, but there's no sign of them. Did they ever really exist, or were they something else entirely, something sinister lurking in the shadows? And there you have it, 6 bone-chilling tales from the darkest corners of the internet. From haunted threads to unexplained encounters, these stories remind us that some mysteries are best left unsolved. The internet can be a scary place, filled with shadows and whispers, and sometimes it's the things we can't explain that frighten us the most. But hey, don't take my word for it. Dive into the comments below and share your own terrifying encounters. And while you're at it, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more spine-tingling content, and don't forget to click the bell icon so you never miss an upload. Until next time, sleep tight and remember, the truth is out there, lurking in the shadows.